Hello, welcome back to the Teenage Gardener. I'm going to be showing you the garden, what lived and what died, because we had two 28-degree frosts in 2 days. One last night and then one 2 nights ago. So I'm going to be showing you what lived and what died in my garden, and hopefully yours is better than mine. First thing that didn't do so well was the cassava. Man, the cassava really didn't like the frost. You can see the leaves. Very sad. Only one of them survived. I think this one's a little more of a cold hardy variety, but it should be fine because the stalks are very stiff and sturdy, so they should be fine and regrow back in good time. Pigeon peas got absolutely decimated, and also with a couple Cuban oreganos. This one survived, but this one did not. This was the only one of the three that survived. Still stiff-stemmed and stiff leaves, unlike these ones. But these ones still have stiff stems, so they should come back, hopefully. Potatoes, they didn't like the frost very much. Hopefully they'll come back, though. The rose, I just pruned it, and it's coming back because it wasn't doing too well. This survived, and so did the Cuban oregano over here, and also the Cuban oregano over here. Avocado tree also survived, but I bet that was because I put a 5-gallon bucket over the avocado. When I pulled it off, it was actually really warm, so I'm surprised. More dead Cuban oregano. Sad. Hopefully it will come back. It's a pretty established plant. I did the same what I did with the avocado trees, putting a 5-gallon bucket over it, and this one was even hotter than whenever I pulled the avocado off. Man, sweet potatoes, still amazing. I don't even know how. There was a little bit of frost damage like this, but that'll come back. Look at that. There's even more past here. This is probably one of the worst, which isn't saying much, but there's a bunch of sweet potatoes that are still in the ground. I'm not including the peach and the plum and the persimmon tree because those, and the mulberry, because those all went dormant already, so they were obviously going to survive the frost. But there is new growth, which I don't know if I'm happy about or sad about, because I don't want another frost coming in, killing the new growth and then it dying. The Cuban oregano rows are fine, just from one casualty. This one got a little bit of frost damage, but the bottom half is still perfectly fine. Let's check the other one. The other one, still perfectly fine. All amazing and green growth. Wonderful. Baby banana tree survived because I put the pot over it. So it was actually did pretty good. A little frost damage, as you can see. This one I didn't, because this one was a lot bigger and I didn't have enough sheets. So as you can see, a lot more frost damage. We drove past some pretty gnarly ones the other day. Wow. Rosemary still doing amazing. I need to transplant this into the ground now, but it's absolutely beautiful. Avocado, I didn't have any more 5-gallon buckets, so I just used this barrel. Worked pretty good though. No frost damage as can be seen at all. Mango got a little bit more frost damage through the middle area. There's a little more damaged one. And I just covered it with this pot. The ones I covered with the pots got a little more damage than I did with using the half barrel or the 5-gallon buckets. But next year I'll probably buy more 5-gallon buckets. The wild onions, they're not wild, but they look wild. The wild onions are still standing. The lacinato kale is beautiful. So is the arugula and the mystery green, because I forget what it's called. I think it's kohlrabi, but I don't know. All of the peach and plum cuttings are still good. I have some persimmon cuttings in there. Hopefully those are root. Look at that, beautiful. The other rosemary plant is still looking really good. Beautiful, just beautiful. The broccoli is also doing pretty good. I'm happy that they survived the frost. I didn't cover it because I thought it would survive the frost, and I was very correct. Blueberry with a bit of red leaves, but the only reason your leaves on your blueberries are red is whenever there's a drastic change in temperatures, like we were in the 80s and then the 20s. So that's why they have red leaves, reddish tinted leaves. Nothing to be worried about that much, but just keep an eye out and maybe give some more fertilizer in the spring. But then that's pretty good to go. Basil cuttings got pretty knocked, even though they were underneath pine tree. But these ones are doing a little better. The sad mint cuttings I put in like a week ago are doing pretty good. The Mexican sunflowers are also doing pretty good. They had a little bit of frost damage, so this one's a little smaller, and this one did too. But other than that, they're pretty good. I'm really thankful that not a lot of my trees were completely destroyed during the frosts. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year too.